Hey everyone, in this video I will talk about Perfumer Byblis and how you can use her to take advantage of your draft. Now, before I start the video, Perfumer Byblis has only been out for a couple of days. She got released on Thursday, so this is just an early impression of the unit. But my early impression of the unit that she is actually working extremely well into or against cleave units. She's also very good into aggro comps, and she alleviates turn 2 playstyle, so tank down when you go slower than usual. And she can have a pivotal role into mitigating damage and also dishing out quite a lot of damage through debuffs. Now, I pulled Byblis to Triple S, like I mentioned in my video. This is the current build I'm running. This is not optimized. I haven't used Fribbles yet, and the build will most likely change. Usually I don't use purple piece items anymore, but this is the best the game found for the time being. It is fine. We are running her on immunity, so we can pummel comms that want to abuse speed. I have some effectiveness, usually, especially against cleave comms or aggro comms. Those comms don't rely on effect resistance, so 80 is more than enough for these guys. We have quite a lot of bulk, some decent HP and defense, but we are also very fast in that case. And the fastness or the high speed has something to do with the 3-turn cooldown of Elixir de Belle Nuit, or however you pronounce that. Le Vienne Rose is a passive that dispels 2 debuffs from all allies and recovers health. The health recovery is the most important part because that's 23% of your current HP, or current max HP, I should say. Now, because she also has the unique or the undispellable unique buff, it does not have the unique tag to it, but it is an undispellable buff, Lingering Fragrance. Each time an enemy takes a turn, you gain 5% more HP. This stacks up to 5 times, so that's 25% more HP. Now, if we do some basic math, 25% more HP on my Byblis means she will have 27.8k HP. And this usually is enough to survive a Ras S3 raw with no ill enough on the field. Now, when the Ras does his thing, usually you will have 3 stacks of this, so it'll be a little bit lower, but still that value will be enough to survive the S3 of Genesis Ras. And then she will proc most of the times, you will heal up, and you'll be Tamaguchi in terms of survivability. The other thing is that makes her rather interesting is her S3, Aura de la Mort. Mort mentioned, she buffs herself effectiveness before she deals her debuffs, which is very nice. So effectively, I'm 130 effectiveness. And then she spreads the scent of death, inflicting redirected provoke, which usually goes onto the highest health unit of your party. And it also inflicts 2 venom debuffs that instantly detonate, which is very nice. This means that Schneel shouldn't proc in theory, because it only procs when there's venom at the end of the turn, and because this detonates right away and vanishes, Schneel shouldn't proc, I believe. But I have to test this at the moment. So when you read this skill, you realize one thing, hopefully. There is no strip involved. So she doesn't strip. So when the enemy has full immunity and this unit goes first, yeah, that S3 is kind of useless. The S1, your standard stuff for the S1 on a Soulweaver, you attack, very low damage, and you do a debuff. Other Soulweavers, such as, what's her name? Maid, for example, she has a stun. What's his name? DJB has a stun. So there are plenty of units that have different debuffs. Mascot Hazel, for example, has Unhealable on her S1. You get the pictures. Aram, for example, also a Soulweaver. She has stun on her S1 as well. There's other units with silence on S1. So there's a lot of variety. And she has a death break, which is very valuable. And when you soul burn this, it only costs 10 souls. You also trigger a dual attack with the highest attack ally. That can be really good, especially if you land that defense break. So yeah, the kit, it looks good. The artifact, it's not mandatory. It is very nice though. Every 3 enemy turns, you increase combat readiness by 20. So if an enemy takes 2 turns before I do, that means I am effectively 327 speed. So against most cleave comms, she will take a turn right after the enemies took a turn. Now granted, you need to survive first, but with the increased HP, there should be a non-issue. And the cool thing is, the push and especially the 100% chance to dispel one debuff is not tied to her taking a turn. This just passively happens on the enemy turns, which I really like. It's a cool artifact. Is it her best in slot? Maybe not. One could argue that you might want to go for a different artifact like Doctor's Bag would work. This one removes one more debuff from an ally when you use a non-attack skill. And remember, the S2 procs, Lien Viros, or whatever the name is, procs when you're below 50%. With this kind of, with this artifact, you would be able to dispel all 3 debuffs from Ran's Soulburn S3, for example. If you land all the 3 debuffs, you would cleanse all 3. So that's something to keep in mind. And maybe at the end of the day, Doctor's Bag will prove to be her best in slot artifact. So Doctor's Bag, something to keep in mind. Queen's Whistle also works very well. Veritas obviously works very well. I could also see Unfading Memories being really good on her. Unfading Memories is this artifact, increases ER of the party, and whenever she takes a turn, she heals up the allies. Now, because mine is fast, this makes quite a lot of sense. Guardian Ice Crystal obviously makes sense. Stella Harper could make sense. So there are plenty of options. Bird's Eye View, also a very good option for her. So there's a lot of variety in terms of artifacts you can use on her. I'm testing Veritas right now. If I end up saying, it's not worth it, I'll switch it out. There's plenty of good options. So let's dive right in. For today's video, I only have Arena to show off, because there isn't much to do. I don't want to waste my tries in RTA. I will most likely play her in RTA, but that's probably a separate video down the line. But yeah, this is the team. Oh, wait, no, there's not a team that I prepared. I prepared this team. I have no idea whether this is going to work. I'll be honest, this is something I threw together. So the goal here is that Ras and both Iseria will always go into Pera, and Pera is protected by Mort, so the Iseria cannot counter, and both are hitting onto Pera. She has dodge 50%, 70% while her buff is up, and Iseria deals less damage because Illinaf is on the field. So my Pera build, very standard, 297 speed, immunity, we need that very badly. Although I would assume that my immunity is not going to last long because I am likely outspeeding, unless the I would assume that the DN is super fast, like 320 speed, which most are at in EU for some reason. So the only unit that actually gets sealed here is going to be my Mort, because he's not on immunity. This is a fraud Mort, but let's not worry about Mort here, because he's going to get instantly dispelled and then it's going to be fine. Perfumer Byblis, we just saw the build, and my Illinaf is on a standard tank build. For the sake of this video, I'll put her on Aureus because that's more valuable in this case. Let's see how this goes. I have no clue. It's also my very first time using Byblis, so I'm very curious to see what's gonna happen. Okay, the end is rather slow. It's a 300 Yulha, I would suppose. There's Ras going for his S2, 55 HP as expected. Goes into Pera. He hits Pera too, as always. And this will proc our Byblis now. We just barely survived with Pera too. Here comes Byblis. We heal up. And I'm telling you, without the Byblis buff, my Pera would have been dead right here. And as I said, this is the huge issue of Byblis. Sure, I could S2, S3 right now, but there's no point. Both Dian and Iseria have their buffs up, the immunity buff, so there's no point in going for it. So I'll just S1 into her. Now, the biggest issue is that Dian is going to punish me real bad here. And I don't think I can win this game because this Dian is slow. I'll be honest. So let's just do this. I could forgo the S3 and I will. This is going to deal the most damage onto Genesis Rasi because he has the highest HP. We will most likely also kill off the you'll have there. And now we just pray that Ilinov takes a turn so we can... Yep, okay. She's dead, that's fine though. Let's get rid of Dian so we can soul burn. Area can counter now, which is unlucky for us. But that's how it is. We need to stabilize ourselves first of all. Should be soon though. Alright, now we are able to S3, so let's just do that. Alright, we got redirected provoke. This Ras has more than enough effectiveness to debuff her. That is very interesting, my friend. Right, we got countered. That's very unlucky for us. Yeah, we're... are we dead actually? I think we're dead, yeah. Mort comes back, but Mort can't win this from this point because the Ras or the Iseria has too much damage on her S1. Yeah, too bad. The slow DN actually won the game. That's how it is, I suppose. Very unlucky in this case. A better showcase here would be... Yeah, I'm wondering, how would I tackle this? Now knowing that this is a slow DN. I don't know, but a slow DN, I expect it because this is the first slow DN that I'm seeing on this entire ladder, I'll be honest. Whenever I faced DNs, they are always 320 speed, so this is kind of surprising. Good on the enemy, he got me there. Maybe Payro just wasn't it, but I don't know. Oh well, let me refresh for another comp then. Yeah, this should be fine, I guess. So, what we'll do here is we'll remove these two. You go into the back row. We'll go for Boss Arunka. Where is she? Here she is. And we need something against Frieren. So let's see. We need something that's still winning against Frieren, but not inting us too much. And we also need some DPS. I can tell I'm doing this pretty much on the fly. I mean, I could always go for my own Renak. Oh, my Renak is not good right now. Natural reaction is just to go Belian then. Where's my Belian? There she is. So let's see if we can win this now. And I have enough leeway in terms of points, so it should be safe. Alright, let's see how this goes and whether Byblis can win us that game. Because we shouldn't underestimate the Frieren in this case. She is going to hurt quite a lot even. Alright. Let's see how we perform. Unlucky for us, we did not proc here. And that's one of the big issues that I see with Frieren in this case. Also, I didn't proc any counters, which is very unlucky. We can press S3 though. All the cooldowns are gone, so now it's my turn to hopefully do some damage. Yep, we did land a couple of buffs, which is nice. We also procced, which is very good. We heal up a bit. We have 20% more HP on our Illinov right now, which is very nice. But as you can tell, all of this still hurts very, very much. But on the flip side, because we have reflect damage, that Frieren pretty much almost killed herself. And once we get to S3 with our Boss Arunka, we will close out this game. My Boss Arunka should have quite a lot of HP. Yeah, 28k HP. That's pretty big. Let's S3 onto the Frieren. This kills the Lady of the Scales and Frieren most likely. It also procs Bystander. I forgot about that part. Unlucky, I guess. Please don't land onto Belian. Belian survived. Alright, so we still have Belian alive, but yeah. Alright, also look at that reflect damage. that was pretty something, I'd say. Alright, let's press S3. We will soul burn, so we trigger dual attack. I don't know who has more attack between the two. I should have probably checked beforehand. Oh, it's Arunka. Good to know. And yeah, this was a good showcase for Byblis, I'll be honest, because the Belian only survived because she had 5 stacks of the perfume. She had 25% more HP, so she was at almost 40k HP, I would presume, because my Belian is 30k HP baseline, so she probably has quite a lot. Let's see how much HP my Belian is. Yeah, 32, 39.2, so 39.2 multiplied by 1.25, she had 38k HP. I rounded up a bit, 38k HP, she survived that S2 after taking some damage from Frieren prior, which is pretty good, I'd say. Now, the other question you may be asking yourself is, how do I deal with Byblis? So these are 2 comps that we can go into. Both are very easy to solve, honestly. The easiest way to solve Byblis is to just cleave her. So that's what we're gonna do here. I'll cleave this, my tactical Corley, just for the speed imprint against the DN, because I, again, always expect 320 DNs here. My Argent Wave Swayong, decent gear, she will most likely kill anything. And then we've got Hecat to close out the deal. So this is for sure gonna kill. The Byblis won't be able to give enough sustain for the party, and it should be an easy win. Another slow Byblis. Not Byblis, I mean DN. Like, this is Murphy's Law, literally. Yeah, so Noto's died because he doesn't have enough sustain here. I will go for her. I'm retarded. Let's soul burn this. This most of the time should kill the... yes, the DN, and then we just finish off the area. And yeah, all the HP in the world cannot make up the fact that Byblis still dies to cleave that easily. It's unfortunate. Technically speaking, Byblis was made to counter cleave, but if you just have this much damage, she still dies to cleave. Now, this is a very specific environment. You would never get something like what I'm doing through in an RTA game. But it goes to show that if you have enough firepower, Byblis won't necessarily help you that much. Still, I feel like Byblis is a very good unit. And from what I've seen on Elf Mage's stream so far, she's incredibly strong. And I lost the first game because I overestimated the enemy Diane and believed that she was fast. Now I face two slow Dianes. I'm gonna show you guys that whenever I usually play against Diane, it's fast Dianes. So let's go into this guy. And I'm telling you, this Diane is going to speed race my Conqueror. Like, I cannot believe that I had two games where I faced two slow ones. Yeah, here we see my Conqueror is 330 speed, and this is 96 of me. So this is what I usually face, and this is what I expected it to be against. So I am not lying when I say 99% of Dianes are fast on the EU ladder. I'm not joking. This is usually the case, what I'm playing against. I'm just at loss at words how I found the only two DN on probably the entire ladder that are not 320 speed. And of all things, I faced them when I was showcasing Byblis. But so be it. I mean, this is a Byblis showcase, not a Cleave showcase, so let's move away from all of this. But one thing I'll tell you right away, do not ever pick Byblis into Notos, because Notos just removes all the fragrance stacks, and then you're left with your original HP, and Notos just takes care of your entire team. So Notos is just way too oppressive on the meta, I feel like, but still Byblis helps you with everything that is not Notos. So as we've seen, my Belian survived the Bystander Wire, which was amazing. It was a perfect showcase. I love that it happened, because that's what Byblis is about. She makes your units survive. She's, on the one hand, she's the savior of turn 2, but she can, on the other hand, be a super bane to turn 2 because of her Venom debuffs, because Venom does so much damage. It's immediately 20% of your max HP is gone. He has to land for that, obviously, but still, very strong unit. If you have enough bookmarks, I would advise you to get Byblis, because I feel like we'll be seeing her a lot more in the meta. And I wouldn't be surprised if Cleavers started to get the hang of it and somehow integrate Byblis into their draft. And I believe a 260 speed build Byblis can make this work as well. That's it from me for today. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. And we'll see each other in the next one. Bye bye.